Marvel just got hit with the brutal reality check after the insane Fantastic Four flop happened at the box office. Okay, so the Fantastic Four just dropped hard, and it's a clear sign that Marvel is in real trouble. Now, Fantastic Four was supposed to be Marvel's reset for the next phase, the start of a big comeback heading into Avengers Doomsday. But instead, Fantastic Four is already collapsing at the box office and proving that Marvel hasn't learned a thing. Now, if this is the best Fantastic Four can do, well, Marvel's entire roadmap is falling apart. Now, when you're down that hard after just 1 week, it tells you the audience just wasn't impressed or don't care. Now, this MCU film was supposed to be Marvel's big comeback. It was hyped as the launch pad to Avengers Doomsday, but instead it's circling the drain, with projections now landing somewhere between $525 million and $550 million if they're lucky. Now, that's not enough to break even after marketing. You see, it's not going to restore confidence in the brand itself, and it sure doesn't set up Avengers Doomsday with any momentum. Now, you can try to spinning it any way you can, but this movie is following the same path as Quantumania and Brave New World. Decent opening followed by complete drop off and a bad word of mouth. Now, Marvel is on a losing streak this year, and this movie just made it worse. You see, fans were already skeptical. The cast announcements landed with a thud, the trailers didn't inspire any confidence, and the final product didn't just give audiences a reason to come back. Now, I'm already seeing, the cope roll in online. Some people are just blaming the fans, saying that the audience is the problem for not liking what's being offered. That's repeat 2018, 2019. And that's not how this works. And see, if the product's not good, people won't show up. It's that simple. Now, Marvel had a chance to go ahead and win people back with this movie, but instead they just doubled down on all the same problems, the very thing that the fans wanted to avoid. Now, the excuses are getting more desperate. One guy said that it doesn't matter if Fantastic Four flopped because Jurassic World Rebirth is somehow dumber. That's the argument now. Jurassic World made more money, so people must be stupid. There's no way that they just didn't enjoy Fantastic Four, right? I mean, some are saying that, some are even saying Superman and Fantastic Four flopping means moviegoers are just dumb. Not that the studios made bad movies, and that's not just out of touch, but it's also insulting. Now, Marvel used to understand the fans, and now it mocks them for not buying tickets to buy the product that they didn't ask for. Now, there's nothing smart about pretending that this movie is actually secretly brilliant, and audiences just miss the point. It's the same move we saw with the Marvels and the Eternals. First, the studio pushes the new direction. Then it fails, and they say the audience was wrong. That right there is backward thinking. Now, it's not up to the audience to fix Marvel's mistakes, and this movie is not some misunderstood masterpiece. Instead, it's just a movie that failed to connect. Now, you can't admit that, if you can't admit that, you're not in touch with reality right now. And also, let's not pretend that, Superman was any better. I mean, I saw people online trying to elevate James Gunn's Superman by tearing down Jurassic World like it was just some, great tragedy that people preferred dinosaurs. But look, Jurassic World knows its audience apparently. Somehow it delivered what people wanted. Doubtfully, dinosaurs chasing and eating people. That's all. No lectures, no bait and switch, just straightforward popcorn fun. This movie tried to reinvent characters nobody asked to be reinvented, and Marvel still can't figure out why it's not working. Okay. Now, the reality is just that people are tired of being told what to like. They're tired of being called dumb because they don't enjoy a product. And Jurassic World Rebirth might not be, high art, but it gave audience what it promised. And this particular movie tried to ride Marvel's old momentum while ignoring everything that the fans have been asking for. It simply didn't deliver on tone, it didn't deliver on spectacle, and it sure didn't deliver on casting. So when people simply walked away, well, Marvel went on ahead and blamed the audience instead of themselves. Along with the shows, they blame the audience too. And now we're back in the same cycle again. People rewriting what box office numbers mean. And every time Marvel drops a bomb like this movie, well, someone pops up saying the box office doesn't really matter. Okay. Well, that's not a true reflection of quality. But when these movies hit a billion, Marvel had no problem bragging. Now they can't even crack $600 million, and suddenly the numbers don't matter. I mean, you can't really have it both ways. And this right here, this movie was supposed to be a win, and it wasn't. But look at what this tells you about the brand itself. You see, when Marvel was firing on all cylinders back then, even their C-list characters could open a movie big, but Fantastic Four isn't obscure. It's been around for decades. You see, this has been rebooted multiple times. It's Marvel's first family. Everyone knows them, even if they aren't the most popular. So Fantastic Four to come out this week shows that, just how far the brand has fallen. Now the interest there is not there, and the trust is not there either, and that's a major problem. And you can't blame competition. Yes, Jurassic World came out close, but the audiences for those two movies don't completely overlap. Now, if this movie was strong, it would have held its ground, but instead it collapsed. And people like John Roca are out here saying that we need to start questioning the intelligence of audiences. Okay, so that's not defense right there. That's panic. Now, Marvel fans are not stupid. They're just not willing to pay for something that looks and feels like more of the same corporate filler. Okay. And in its entirety, I mean, someone even suggested that the studios aren't to blame, and maybe some people are just too dumb to appreciate these movies. That's the narrative now. If Fantastic Four flops, it's not our fault for not liking it. No, it's Marvel's fault for putting out the product that nobody wanted. And by the way, Jurassic World wasn't a genius film at all, but it was fun to some people. It was clear about what it was, and it wasn't condescending to its own audience, except for what Scarlett Johansson said. But Fantastic Four couldn't even do that much. And then you also have the usual defenders crying about how box office obsession is ruining creativity, and then there's also the economy. One guy said movies should be made for free if that's how people feel, and that's not a business model. It's just a fantasy. And then there was like another person who commented on a last video on this topic that I talked about, where they assumed that I didn't know I was talking about, and they blamed the economy because people aren't really going out to see these movies much anymore. Really, that's the reason, and not the fact that it's not rewatchable, or the fact that people just don't really care or trust Marvel anymore. I mean, Marvel doesn't make movies as a charity. Disney is not paying hundreds of millions so that fans can just vibe with mid-tier storytelling. It's a business. If a movie bombs, it affects what gets made next. That's the whole game. And if this movie didn't just underperform, it tanked. That right there is the consequences, okay? And now is damage control mode. Now, I also saw someone say that we need to redefine what success looks like. Basically, no, lower the bar. No, you don't get to move the goalpost because Marvel missed the mark. You see, this isn't some indie film with a small budget. This movie is over $200 million with Marvel tentpole with years of hype, and it was supposed to start the countdown to Avengers Doomsday. Now, if it can't pull in the crowd, then the plan is just broken. Redefining success doesn't even fix that, okay? So, yeah, Every time Marvel fumbles, it's the same excuses all over again. This story was too complex. The cast was too new. The marketing didn't click. It's always something other than the actual product itself. But the truth is, it's right in front of us. You see, Marvel doesn't know what its audience wants anymore. They're out of touch. Fantastic Four tried to go ahead and mix old characters with new politics and still writing. And the result is a movie that pleases nobody, and Marvel's strategy looks worse by the day. So even if Fantastic Four somehow legs its way to $550 million, that's not good enough. That's barely scraping by. That's what failure looks like in this industry when expectations are sky high. Now, Marvel can't keep banking on nostalgic branding while delivering forgettable content. And Fantastic Four was supposed to reignite interest. And it just reminded people why they walked away in the first place, okay? So now, any faith in Marvel's long-term roadmap is even shakier. And still, some influencers out there are pretending that this is all just fine. They're, worried about, losing early access so that they can say the fans are wrong. They call Jurassic World fans dumb. They act like Marvel can do no wrong, but the numbers don't even lie. You see, Fantastic Four collapsed, plain and simple. The audience is not interested, and that should be a major wake-up call. And instead, Marvel's defenders are just plugging their ears and pointing fingers, basically. And that won't fix the brand itself. It'll just basically speed up the collapse. Now, Marvel used to own the summer, and now it's just getting outpaced by movies with simpler stories and better pacing. Fantastic Four had every opportunity to crush it, and instead, it's already being written off. Now, the old formula doesn't work anymore. The fans have changed, the culture has changed, but Marvel still thinks that, throwing a legacy name on the marquee is enough. Well, it's not. You see, Fantastic Four actually proved that. And all of this was just avoidable, as we have been saying. If Marvel had taken feedback seriously after Quantumania or even the Marvels, they might have just went on ahead and course corrected. Instead, they went full steam ahead with another high budget misfire, and Fantastic Four didn't build momentum. It just simply exposed the cracks in the foundation. And if this is what leads into Avengers Doomsday, well, that whole plan is in trouble, because if the fans don't care now, they're not going to show up later either. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Be sure to smash that like button, share the video far wide across social media, subscribe to the channel, turn on that bell for future uploads notifications, and I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, peace.